Imagine a world where towering stone structures are built without modern machinery. A world where scientific principles like magnetism, acoustics, and advanced metallurgy are not only understood but mastered by civilizations that lived thousands of years ago. Welcome to the world of ancient Indian temples, a world full of mystery and unmatched technological marvels. And if you haven't heard about these yet, well, you're missing out on a huge part of our ancient history. One that could change how you think about the past forever. Believe me, this is the kind of mystery that will leave you questioning what you really know about ancient India. In today's video, we're diving into 5 incredible technologies hidden within India's ancient temples that modern science still can't fully explain. And trust me, you don't want to miss these mind-blowing discoveries. Make sure you're subscribed because by the end of this video you'll be itching for part 2. First up, let's talk about something that will completely mess with your sense of reality. Imagine walking into a centuries-old temple, staring at a massive stone pillar, and realizing it's floating. That's right, the Colossus Temple in Andhra Pradesh has a pillar that just doesn't touch the ground. And it's not like a small, lightweight thing. This is a massive stone-carved column that should be impossible to hold up without a foundation. But somehow, it's standing strong. Crazy, right? Here's the wildest part. People have tried to figure out how it's possible, and no one has come up with a solid explanation. Engineers have studied it, scientists have examined it, but the mystery remains unsolved. There's even a popular trick where you can slide a cloth underneath the pillar to see for yourself that it's really floating. Now I bet you're wondering, did the ancient builders do this on purpose, or was it some kind of happy accident? Theories range from advanced weight distribution to magnetic fields, but whatever the reason, the floating pillar is one of the many examples of how ancient Indian architects were playing a completely different game when it came to construction. And speaking of playing the game, don't forget to subscribe right now. We've got more mind-bending temple tech to uncover, and trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. Alright, let's talk about sound. Imagine walking through an ancient temple, and instead of silence, you hear music. Not from any instruments though. No, this music comes from the stones themselves. In the Vithala Temple in Hampi, Karnataka, there are these incredible pillars that literally sing when you strike them. Yep, you heard that right, stone pillars that can produce musical notes. So how did ancient builders know how to create sound from stone? These musical pillars are designed so precisely that each one resonates at a specific frequency when tapped. Some even produce different pitches, almost like an ancient xylophone made from solid rock. And remember, this was done without any modern-day sound engineering or fancy tools. How did they know the exact science behind resonance? That's the million-dollar question. Think about it for a second. What kind of knowledge must they have had to understand the properties of sound and stone so perfectly? The more we learn about these temples, the more it feels like the ancient world might have had access to knowledge we've completely lost. Maybe this is why we're still uncovering their secrets centuries later. If you're getting intrigued, now's the perfect time to hit that subscribe button, so you'll never miss out on more deep dives into the mysteries of the ancient world. Next up is something that'll have you scratching your head. Ancient temples using magnetism to stay standing. Welcome to the Brihadiswara Temple in Tamil Nadu. This architectural wonder is already a jaw-dropper thanks to its sheer size and beauty. But did you know that it may have once used the power of magnets to hold its structure together? Legends say that the top of the temple's massive dome was once capped with a gigantic magnetic stone, and this magnetic field supposedly stabilized the entire structure. Can you even imagine that? A temple built thousands of years ago using magnetic fields for structural support? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel. But there's a lot of historical evidence that points to the builders knowing far more about the properties of materials than we give them credit for. Even today, scientists aren't sure exactly how this was achieved, or if the magnetic stone theory is 100% accurate. But here's the thing, whether it was magnetism or something else entirely, this temple has withstood over 1,000 years of history, earthquakes, and more, and it's still standing strong. If that doesn't convince you that ancient Indian builders were on another level, I don't know what will. Speaking of standing strong, make sure you're standing with us by subscribing to the channel. We're just getting started with uncovering more mind-blowing ancient technologies. Now prepare to have your mind completely blown. The Colossus Temple at Ellora is often called the largest monolithic structure in the world, but that doesn't even begin to describe how insane this place is. Imagine carving an entire temple, massive in size, out of a single rock. Not assembling it piece by piece, but literally chiseling it from the top down. Let me paint a picture. Over 400,000 tons of rock were removed to create this temple, all with hand tools. The sheer scale and precision of this project are beyond belief. It's like someone took an entire mountain and decided to sculpt it into a work of art, but with the pressure of knowing that any mistake could ruin the entire thing. And here's what's really crazy: no one knows exactly how they did it. Modern engineers are still baffled by the techniques used. Was there some ancient method of rock cutting that we haven't rediscovered, or did they have some kind of lost technology that allowed them to create structures like this with such precision? The truth is, we might never know. But here's a thought: if they could do this, what else were they capable of? And that's why you should hit subscribe, because we've got more of these ancient mysteries lined up. And I'll bet you don't want to miss the next one. Finally, we arrive at the Kanark Sun Temple in Odisha, a place where architecture and astronomy collide in the most fascinating way. This temple isn't just a tribute to the sun god, it's a functioning solar timepiece. Its design is so precise that it tracks time down to the hour using nothing but the movement of the sun and the temple's giant stone wheels. Yep, those massive wheels you see on the temple's exterior, they're actually giant sundials. And here's the mind-blowing part: they're accurate. The ancient builders managed to carve these wheels in such a way that you can tell the time just by looking at the shadows they cast. And if that wasn't enough, the temple's entire structure is aligned with the solar equinoxes, meaning twice a year the sun's rays pass through the entrance perfectly, illuminating the temple's inner sanctum. It's not just an architectural marvel, it's an astronomical one too. How did they achieve this level of precision without telescopes or advanced measuring tools? Could they have had a better understanding of the cosmos than we've realized? One thing's for sure: the more we dig into the past, the more we find that ancient Indian temples are far more than places of worship. They're testaments to a lost era of incredible knowledge. And speaking of knowledge, if you're still watching, it's time to test yours. Here's a quiz question for you. Which of the 5 temples do you think would be the hardest to recreate today, even with all of our modern technology? Is it the floating pillar of Lapakshi, the musical stones of Vithala, the magnetic mystery of Brihadiswarar, the massive Kailasa temple, or the astronomical precision of Konark? Let me know your answer in the comments, and why. And here's a little challenge. If you get it right, you might just get a shout out in our next video. But wait, there's even more to discover. We've barely scratched the surface. In part 2, we'll dive deeper into the advanced technologies that these temples might be hiding, from hidden chambers to lost energy sources. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep questioning the mysteries of our past.